Dajjal will be followed by 70,000 Jews from Isfahan wearing the Persian shawls. And so immediately I come to the conclusion that these will be Jews who will have Muslim names because they're coming from Isfahan. And they're dressed up as Iranians, Persians, not as Jews. So these will be a hidden force emerging out of Iran that will be supporting the Dajjal, externally appearing to be Muslims, but internally supporters of Dajjal. And so I am anticipating now that there will be great changes in Iran. And through this talk, I'm warning the Iranian government and the Iranian people that the attack is coming. Yes, because I hold that the Iranian government is sincere in its opposition to the oppressors who now rule the world. You can have other views, but this is my view, that the Iranian government is sincere in its opposition to Israel. I reject the view that the Iranian government is insincere and they have some secret pact with Israel and they're just throwing dust in our eyes. No, Imran Hosein does not think like that. An Iranian government which is sincere in its opposition to Israel is not something that Dajjal will accept. No. He wants to use the Shia divide. He wants to exploit the Shia sectarian movement to his advantage. And so he needs a government in Iran that will be first Shia and then Muslim. And so I expect that the attack will take place on Iran. Of course, the attack would be for destroying the nuclear plants. That's all the hype about nuclear plants and nuclear weapons and stuff. But I want to suggest that the more important reason for the attack on Iran will be to remove this present government and to replace it with a Karzai-type Afghanistan government in Iran that will submit to the Zionists and therefore become camp followers of Dajjal. And that is when this hadith will be fulfilled, about 70,000 Jews. A companion of the Prophet ﷺ, whose name was Tamim ad-Dari, came to the Prophet ﷺ in Medina and narrated something to him. And the Prophet ﷺ then said to the people, "Sit down. Tamim ad-Dari has come to me and told me something about Dajjal, which confirms what I have been speaking to you about." And this hadith is located in Sahih Muslim. And here is the event. When I analyze the event, I come to the conclusion that this was a vision. But when I give my opinion, don't you dare accept my opinion. No. I don't want you to accept my opinion unless and until you are convinced that it is correct. Other than that, you will not be showing respect for your own rational faculty. I never did that with my own teacher. I gave him more trouble than every other student combined. I never accepted anything that he taught me until I was convinced that it was correct. That's the way he trained me. So I won't be simply a parrot. Someone who came out of a Maulana factory. And that's what I want from my students. This is my opinion, that it was a vision. Tamim ad-Dari and some 40 of his companions went on board a ship. And ships normally travel in water. I don't know about Malaysia. So you have to look for a body of water. It's logical deduction, huh? And you're leaving from the Arab world. The Arab world. And that part of the Arab world where Medina is located, to the north is Jerusalem, so you have the Mediterranean Sea, and then on this side you have the Red Sea. But a storm came and blew the ship for a whole month, so we eliminate the Red Sea, Because if a storm comes in the Red Sea, within 5 minutes you reach land. But this one took a whole month before it reached land. So we eliminate the Red Sea. And then they came to an island. They came to an island. And I recognize that island to be the island of Britain. But some people, they can't understand how can a ship travel through the Mediterranean Sea and reach Britain. Oh, well, how come the US Navy and US merchant ships, since the United States was born 200-something years ago, were trading with North Africa? Huh? Lots of American ships used to be trading with North Africa. How did they get into the Mediterranean? Mm-hmm. So it is possible to get out of the Mediterranean with a ship. Elementary geography. I recognize the island to be Britain, but don't accept my opinion until you're convinced that it is correct. There are some who are convinced otherwise. They think the island is Singapore. And they landed at this island. They got on shore and they were confronted by a very hairy creature. So much hair that you could not tell which side was head and which side was tail. Much like in Lower Manhattan, you can't tell who is a man and who is a woman. So you couldn't tell which side was head and which side was tail. And then this creature is called Jassasa, meaning a spy. So this is an island located about 1 month's journey by sea, using wind from the Arab world, the Mediterranean coast there by Syria. And it is an island with expertise in spying and espionage, you know. A hint for you, James Bond kind of stuff. And Jassasa pointed to the ruins of a monastery and said, there's someone waiting for you there. So this is an island in which religion will eventually crumble, and churches are going to be sold, restaurants and discotheques and bingo halls. Church is on sale, because nobody go into church. And so they hurried. And when they got to the ruins of the monastery, they found this human being. He looks like a human being, but he's in chains. His hands are chained to his neck, and his feet are chained together. And he questions them. And they are very interesting questions. For that, you must read this book. And then he said, I am Dajjal. I am Dajjal. And when I am released, so up to this point in time, he's not as yet been released. This is about the 2nd or 3rd year after the Hijrah in Medina. When I am released, I'll enter every town and every city, but he didn't mention Kampung. For our audience outside of Malaysia, Kampung means village. So protection from Dajjal is better in the village, in Kampung, than in the city. So when Dajjal is released, it will be from this island that he is going to commence his effort to rule the world from Jerusalem, from the Holy Land. Which island is it? I came to the conclusion that it was Britain. The Prophet said, alayhi salatu wasalam, that when Dajjal is released, he will live on earth for 40 days. Don't make the mistake of counting 40 days as 1 month and 10 days or 1 month and 11 days. No. Don't do that. Someone asked the Prophet ﷺ, which was the first masjid which was built? He said the one in Arabia, the Kaaba, by Ibrahim ﷺ. And then someone asked him, which was the second masjid which was built by a prophet? He said the one in Jerusalem, Masjid al-Aqsa, by Sulaiman ﷺ. And then he was asked, how much time elapsed between the construction of the two? He said 40 years. He said 40 years. When every single Arab in Arabia would know that it is far, far, far more than 40 years. But thousands of years in between. Obviously, when he said 40 years, he's speaking symbolically. So when he says that Dajjal will live on earth for 40 days, do not take it literally, please. The 40 days, he says, one day would be like a year. He didn't say one day would be a year, did he? He said one day would be like a year. One day would be like a month. And one day would be like a week. And all the rest of his days would be like your days. So they subtract 3 from 40. Strange mathematics. And they get 37. So they said, when he is in our day like a year, our day like his day, he's going to live for 37 days. How can you be born and you're still in your diaper after 37 days, still drinking your mother's milk, and yet become a young man, powerfully built, curly hair? Huh? Because your mathematics is wrong. No, it's not to be counted as 40. It is symbolic language. One day like a year would be stage 1 of his mission, which lasts for a long time. One day like a week, like a month would be stage 2, which would be a shorter period of time. And one day like a week would be the shortest period. And it is only after these 3 stages have been completed, only then would Dajjal appear in our material universe, in our world of space and time. Only then would we be able to see him. Prior to that, you can't see him. He's released, he's here, but you can't see him. Are there angels in this auditorium? Apart from your wife, of course. Yes, we have angels on our shoulders. Can you see the angels? No, but they are here. They are here, but you can't see them. Are there jinn in this auditorium? I know there are lots of them in Washington, but are there jinn in this auditorium? Yes, there are. Can you see them? No, you can't. Similarly, Dajjal is released. He is here, but you can't see him until stage 1, stage 2, and stage 3 have been completed. And he enters into our world of space and time. A Malay artist did the cover design of this book. And you see 3 circles. And the 3 circles represent the 3 stages of Dajjal. And we recognize that in stage 1, a day like a year, Britain became the ruling state of the world. We did not say that Britain was a ruling state for the whole of stage 1. We never said that. So don't come with the nonsense of saying, what year did Britain become a ruling state? And what year was power transferred to the United States, so we can calculate when Israel will become the ruling state? I am not a part of that. You do your mathematical conclusions, and when you finish, take it somewhere else, don't bring it to me. No. In stage one, which lasted for a long time, stage one witnessed the emergence of Britain as a ruling state. Britain becomes a ruling state with a mysterious relationship with the Holy Land. It is the British army which defeats the Ottoman Islamic army and takes control of Jerusalem. It is Britain which issues the Balfour Declaration. And if you don't know what's the Balfour Declaration, do your homework. It is Britain which ruled over the Holy Land with a mandate conferred by the League of Nations from 1917, 1918 to 1948. It is Britain which presided over the birth of the State of Israel in 1948. And so we are convinced that the island is Britain. But if you choose to believe it's Singapore, that's your choice. And then came stage two, which is a day like a month. And we recognize that Dajjal has now created a second ruling state. And that second ruling state is the United States of America, with a mysterious relationship with Israel, which cannot be explained by normal tools of political analysis. No. And then comes stage three, when power will be transferred from the United States of America to a third ruling state. And we say that that third ruling state would be Israel. And that is where we are located now in the historical process. Only Islamic eschatology can deliver that statement. Only the Quran and Nabi Muhammad ﷺ could explain this political process. We are now located at that moment. When was Dajjal released then? Let's step back again. Nabi Muhammad ﷺ suspects a Jewish boy in Medina to be Dajjal. And he takes Umar radiallahu ta'ala anhu with him to question the boy. But the boy is rather impertinent and rude in his answers, and Umar gets angry. O Messenger of Allah, give me permission, I'll cut off his head. The Prophet ﷺ replies and he says, no, Umar, don't do that. If he is Dajjal, you cannot kill him. But we are being given a message in these words. If he is Dajjal, it's not possible. You cannot speak these words if Dajjal is still in chains. This one is not in chains. Implying that Dajjal has been released. He's not saying that this is Dajjal. No. The boy's name was Ibn Sayyad. If he is Dajjal, you cannot kill him. And if he's not, it will be sinful to kill him. So this incident is meant to tell us that Dajjal has been released. There is a difference between release and khuruj. The hadith uses the word khuruj for another event. Listen to this hadith, which is in the Sunan of Abu Dawood. The Prophet said, alayhi salatu wasalam, he said, Umran Bayt al-Maqdis, Kharabu Yathrib. At that time, when Jerusalem would be a booming city with construction everywhere, booming, flourishing, center stage. That would be the time when Yathrib, meaning Madinatul Nabi, would be in a state of kharab. Number one,
a state of forlorn desolation. That's one meaning. Playing no role whatsoever in Islamic affairs and no role whatsoever in world affairs, a forgotten city. But the other meaning, I think it's a sheikh from Jordan who drew my attention to it, is that as buildings are going up over there, buildings are being destroyed here. The strange Wahhabi cult which emerged in Saudi Arabia to become an ally of the Zionists, to such an extent that Saudi Arabia is today a strategic ally of Israel. They destroy every single building in Medina which has a sacred history attached to it. So as buildings are going up here, buildings are being destroyed here. So when that time comes, then Kharabu Yathrib, Khurujul Malhama. Look at that time for the Great War. The Great War, they call it Armageddon. The Prophet called it Malhama. It's a great war which will make the First World War and the Second World War look like a fight over peanuts. That's how great it's going to be. My reading is that the Great War or the Malhama will cause a substantial reduction in the population of the world. So that what remains of the population of the world after the Malhama would be manageable for Israel, in order for Israel to rule the world. So if you have 8 billion people in the world today, you might have 500 million after that. 7.5 have gone to another world when the Malhama takes place. That's where we are now. The next thing to occur is the Malhama. If Turkey attacks Syria and invades Syria, as I am expecting, and if Russia then comes to the defense of Syria, as I'm expecting, well, NATO will get what NATO wants. NATO wants a big war. Well, what's what you want? That's what you'll get. And that is going to lead to the Malhama, nuclear war, which will substantially reduce the population of the world. This is Islamic eschatology at work, telling you what's coming, anticipating the future, not fortune telling, what Mr. Reagan had in the White House. No, this is an anticipation of events to come based on Islamic eschatology. And then he said, Khurujul Malhama, Fathul Constantiniya. That when the Great War takes place, it will lead to the conquest of Constantinople. Fathul Constantiniya, Khurujul Dajjal, said the Prophet ﷺ. So it is only after Constantinople has been conquered by the Muslims, which is still to come, which will bring an end to NATO control over the city. And once NATO control over Constantinople is gone, then the Bosphorus will be open for the Russian Navy to pass through and enter into the Mediterranean. It is only then that Dajjal will have his khuruj. I mean, only now will Dajjal will appear in human form. Only now will you see him ruling over the state of Israel. And when he rules over the state of Israel, one of the last things he's going to do is to attack Medina. And the Israeli armed forces are going to land outside of Medina with Dajjal. But the angels are going to bar him from entering Medina. And then Medina is going to shake 3 times. 3 times. I don't know what the Islamic University of Medina is going to do on that day. Medina is going to shake 3 times. And every kafir and every munafiq, kafir, a disbeliever, munafiq, a hypocrite, will be thrown out. and they will join Dajjal. And since he is not allowed to enter Medina, he'll diverted to Damascus. And then all three will be in Damascus. All three. The three most important actors in Akhirah Zaman, all three will be in Damascus at the same time. Imam al-Mahdi will be there. Dajjal will be there. And Dajjal is outside the masjid and the Imam is inside the masjid. And the confrontation is about to take place. And history repeats itself. In the same way that we were approaching the water, fleeing with Moses alayhi salam. And the army of Fir'aun was approaching behind. And the confrontation is about to take place. And some of us are in a state